Hey everybody, welcome to Local Business Hacks Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Case, and I'm on a mission to help you. Every week, we're going to be talking to local business owners and experts to get their best tips, tricks, and hacks to grow your business. This show is designed to teach you, inspire you, and motivate you to take massive action and start to build your future-proof business. Whether you're just starting off or you're taking your existing business to the next level, this episode is for you. So let's get started. Hey, local business hackers. I'm your host, Director of Global Business Development and Referrizer, joined today by Director of Operations for Fit Theorem, Kim Radtke. Kim, welcome to Local Business Hacks.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Kim, you have quite an interesting career path in the fitness space. Give us some deets as to what got you to this point of being Director of Ops for a brand that I think you're going to speak on a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, I actually didn't start in the fitness industry or the fitness space. I waited tables for 10 years. I started when I was 15 and waited tables for a long time. On my own, I wasn't on teams, I was in sports, I was in the gym, but I really didn't see myself as someone who could be a fitness professional probably around until I was like 21. Even then, how I got into the fitness industry is a local yoga studio, a hot yoga studio, was offering free classes if I cleaned. So I would go in and clean the studio for free classes because I didn't want to pay for a membership, but I didn't mind my hands and knees scrubbing everything up. And it wasn't about almost 2 years later where I was actually approached by the owner of the yoga studio, and she asked if I wanted a job. And back then, old Kim was a little more shy, a little less confident. And I thought it was my holy grail of getting to the fitness industry. I started off as a membership specialist, helping people get signed up for yoga. Then I got my yoga certification, power teacher training. From there, I worked my way up. I became a manager of the first studio. She had 7 locations, and I moved up within 2 years to become a manager of the 7 locations. After that, I had come to a point where I wasn't feeling like I was growing anymore. So I left, and it was kind of a scary time because I didn't know if I was going to stay in the fitness industry, but I knew that I needed a place where I could really spread my wings. And that's where I was able to find one of my partners, my business partners, and open up a former kickboxing studio in the Linwood, Washington area. From there, we opened it together, and I won a few awards. I won Manager of the Year in 2018, became one of the top grossing studios for the former company for a solid 2 years, leading all the way to the pandemic and our shutdown. During that shutdown, that's where Fit Theorem, the concept and the franchise was born. And during that time, we have opened 2 more locations. So total of 4 locations. And we are starting a brand new franchise, which is in its infancy stage right now, but it's something that I'm very excited to be a part of. So in a nutshell, I started from cleaning yoga studios for free all the way to becoming Director of Operations and Chief of Operations for the entire franchise.
That's incredible. So hard work does pay off. Good job, Kim.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I'd love to, before we dive into you personally in this journey, speak a little bit about Fit Theorem. How can people get involved? Where can they go?
Of course. So Fit Theorem is 18 studios worldwide. We have a few in Canada. We have 1 in India, and the rest are in the United States. I run 4 of the locations in the Pacific Northwest. We have 4 locations in Everett, Linwood, Kent, and Federal Way. And like I said, this is a brand new franchise in our infancy stage, and we are selling locations this month. So it's a very exciting time because we are on a mission to fit is what we call it. And that's to, it comes back to our company mission, our franchise mission, which is to defeat mediocrity, ignite human potential, and transform lives, mind, body, and spirit. So one of the best ways to be a part of it is really generally just starting off as one of our challengers, one of our clients, and transforming your life, mind, body, and spirit. From there, it's as simple as giving me a phone call and getting to know us as a brand.
That's awesome. So connect with you on LinkedIn and fittheorem.com, or what's the best way?
The best way, honestly, is going to be through my email, just kim@fittheorem.com, or I do have an Instagram. It's fitcoach_KO Kim. It's one of the advantages of being so small is that you can talk to the CEO. His name is Harrison. You can talk to me, Chief Operations. We're still in that small stage where it's got that hometown feeling. It really isn't. It's not It's not hard to get a hold of us. And that's the part that we're just really swimming in right now. I love knowing all of the owners. I love getting to know all of the leaders. And I love to get to know all the coaches that are part of the franchise. So any one of those ways is a great way to get a hold of me, but any of us, take advantage of us being small still, because it's not going to last for long.
That's awesome. Well, congrats to you and congrats to the Fit Theorem team so far.
Thank you.
Kim, I can imagine this many years in fitness. Share some stories that you remember that really shaped lessons so that you don't have to learn them again. And hopefully our listeners won't have to either.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the kind of biggest stories and where it all really started was during the shutdown. During the pandemic, I think all of us were a little bit in denial. I was going to a trip to Chicago to visit a friend. And before I left, it was really like, I'll see you next week. Nothing's going to happen. We're all safe. Like, they're not going to close gyms down. We're essential kind of deal. And when I got a phone call from my partner saying that Washington State was shutting us down, I think I had about 3 minutes of, oh no, what are we going to do? And, if you meet certain people in life where you have that fight or flight response, I had 3 minutes of probably feeling sorry for myself. And the first people I thought were the people on my team. And I said, we're not letting this go. There's no way in hell we're going to just let go of everything we've worked for, everything we've trained for, everything we have survived and sacrificed for, like that. So after those 3 minutes of wallow, I got on a call with my leaders and we made a plan right there and then. That plan, I feel that businesses who survived the pandemic were because they had people who were dedicated to it and they had an unwavering belief that it was going to work. I think that's one of the biggest things that has been able to drive my success is an unwavering belief. If you look at some of the greatest athletes in the world, one that comes to mind is Wayne Gretzky. It's just that unwavering belief that you can do it, that this is your calling and you have to do it. So having that unwavering belief kept us through the pandemic, helped us survive. And when we found like-minded people, that was Fit Theorem. From there, we were able to grow into an entire brand new world, entire brand new franchise. So, after all of this time, I think that every single day, I believe in our mission more and more. And that's what's really led to my success. I don't back down, and no one on my team does as well, and neither does the franchise. So it's that unwavering belief that we can do it. We is it.
That's incredible. Kim, would you say that to support that belief that you take your hiring process very carefully, and as you onboard franchisees, that's even more careful? Or how do you really abide by those bylaws in your day-to-day actions?
Especially with today's hiring climate, I feel like there's a lot of desperation when it comes to employers. And if you don't feel just amazing about someone in that first interaction, they don't get the picture. They're just not going to understand the mission. So when we are hiring, when we are finding people to join our team to be a coach for Fit Theorem, they have to automatically see that mission. They have to automatically see that belief. And the same thing comes with our owners. We aren't in the business of just letting anyone in. This isn't the franchise that anyone can buy this franchise, run it, and they can just be sipping margaritas on a beach somewhere. No, we want people to be involved in their community. We want people to be involved with their team. We want people to be involved with their clients, with their coaches. We want people to be involved when they do buy a Fit Theorem franchise. So that process is selective, because when you all have the same mentality, when you all have the same mindset, things are going to go by a lot smoother. There's no stop, wait, why are we doing this? It's, I got it. Let's keep going. So it's very, very selective when it comes to hiring coaches and when it comes to hiring franchises. They just really need to have that it factor. And that's what we look for when we're doing both.
That's awesome. And it's a testament to the growth that you guys are going through. So
absolutely.
It's awesome. Kim, is there any other hacks that you have when it comes to operations and in your role?
One of my favorite quotes is by Napoleon Hill, and it's use other people's brains and other people's money. Coming this far, I did start off with, I'm an older sister, so I think I know everything. And through this entire journey, the number one thing that I have learned is that I know nothing. I don't know anything. Things I do know, I can always get better at. So when I'm using other people's brains, what you're doing is if someone's good at Excel and you're not, you need that person on your team. Yeah. If you have someone who's a fantastic personal trainer and you're not, I'm just adding that to my skill set by having them on my team. The biggest thing I've ever learned is you need to take every single opportunity to learn. Any experience, every experience, anyone who's offering you advice, appreciate the time that they took to give you that advice. I don't like to limit my learning just to the fitness industry. I like to learn from the beauty industry. I like to take my experience from waiting tables. I love to learn from NASA. I love to learn about where we're going with Tesla, whatever it is. All of those, in some way, shape, or form, you can learn from. So humble yourself. Know that you don't know anything. And because of that, you have to be coachable, which is one of our core values at Fit Theorem. We have 6 core values, and being coachable is one of the biggest ones that I always take to heart every single day. So as you grow in business, know that there's so much out there for you to learn from, and it's all in the mindset. You got to find what hidden gems you can find in any piece of information that you receive.
That's awesome. Super well said. Thank you, Kim. I'll
Absolutely.
share one of my favorite quotes from someone that you referenced, Wayne Gretzky. You miss 1,000% of the shots that you never take, or you miss 100% of the shots you never take. Sorry.
Yeah. He's the great one for a reason.
Yeah. Amen to that. Kim, I'd love to talk on the operations side. When we speak about partnerships are forever imperative in the growth of grassroots and in the growth of the brand from a local and national perspective. What are some partnerships that Fit Theorem has seriously benefited from since inception that continue to pay off and are grateful?
Absolutely. Well, on a local level, partnerships, it's a networking of your community. It has to be part of the abundance mindset that there is enough all around. And what you're doing, you're simply helping people. It's just like any referral. On the local level, in our studios, if we do have a client who has her own hair salon, of course, I'm going to send people to her. She's going to send people to me. It's a two-way street. If we have teachers, yesterday was National Teacher Appreciation Day. If we have teachers, I'm of course going to come and bring them school supplies. And, they're going to send me all of their teacher friends and all the PTA moms. When it comes to that local level, every single person has something to offer. And it's a strengthening of your community when you're able to offer something to them and them to you. As far as a franchise, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, we're selective with that too. We only want the best products. We only want things that are going to take care of our members. When it comes to even just glove choices, it's about having the best equipment because we want our members to have the best. It's not a matter of upselling or anything like that. You have to understand that a new pair of gloves for someone, you're having the best wrist support. You have a sweat guard. You have double wrap things. It's going to protect your member. And then just how cool they are, a fresh pair of leather gloves. And if they have a cool design on them, you're going to have so much confidence within that member. They're going to want to come to class 3 to 4 times. So when we're doing our partnerships, you want to make sure that you're selective, just as selective as you are picking your coaches or the owners, as you are with your partnerships. Make sure that it's going to serve the people around you and serve your community.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim.
Absolutely.
How would you say that Fit Theorem is positioning itself with an introductory offer and also supporting the continued growth in this space?
So with Fit Theorem, what we have pushed past is just fitness. We decided during the pandemic, when people couldn't come in to work out, it's 10% of the fitness journey. It's 10% of wellness. The other 90% is mindset and nutrition. What we put into our body is so much more important than what we put our body through. So our introductory offer and what attracts a lot of people to Fit Theorem is our 6-week challenge program. It's a 6-week program guaranteed to help people change their mindset through accountability coaching, through nutrition, eating whole foods, and through fitness. So when we have an introductory offer, and what makes us different is being able to offer all three as a program. It's not where you go to Planet Fitness and you only get fitness, or you go to Weight Watchers and you only get nutrition, or you have these online coaches and they're only able to offer you accountability. It's a one-stop shop to make everything easier. And the beauty of that is that no one knows my clients better than I do. So instead of sending them off to super supplements or vitamin shop where they're going to get upsold by some 18-year-old kid who doesn't know who the hell they're talking about, I'm going to make sure I have the right recommendations for them for the correct supplements. Instead of going to Big Five and getting the cheapest pair of gloves that they can find that's going to injure them, I know my client better. And I say, hey, to help with your wrist injury that you had 3 months ago, I want you to buy these gloves. So being that one-stop shop, being that one center, a transformation center, is so much more important to us than just fitness. And that's what really sets us apart with our introductory offer and our franchise.
Woohoo! That's great. Kim, you have great energy and clearly you're super passionate about what you do. Talk to me about what motivates you each day, and then we'll roll into what your morning routine looks like.
Absolutely. I'm a new mom, not too new. My son's going to be 2. And I've always had a problem with the term, this is my first priority. So far and so long, I've heard moms say that their kids are number one. And I really like to think of it as a tier system. What motivates me every day on that first tier is going to be myself, my family, and making my family proud. I am the daughter of immigrants, and they didn't come here for no reason for me not to reach my fullest potential. So when I talk about motivation, I'm putting all these things on levels. There's like 90 things on my top level, and then they start to taper off. But when we talk about motivation every single day, I have a level, I have a tier of things that motivate me every day, which keeps me going every single day.
Amazing. I love that. I could definitely use to implement a tier system, and I'm sure everybody listening as well. What a great tip. What's your morning routine look like each day? I can imagine it changes radically with a 2-year-old.
You know what? I am actually very, very blessed. My 2-year-old loves to sleep. He is not awake until probably about 7:30 or 8. So the way I kind of get ahead of the game is I wake up earlier. I do tend to wake up at 6 a.m. And besides the normal things, and the normal things for me are mapped up as well. I have it written down on a list: brush teeth, chug some water, start your breakfast, take your morning supplements, put on pants. It really is right in that order. Just so I don't have to think about it. And then from there, I do try to get to work as soon as I can. I know that your dream state is very close to your creative state. So if I can brush my teeth and I have a night idea still in my head, I'm like, okay, brush your teeth, do this. Okay, get on the computer and start belting it out. I feel the most productive in the first hour of my day than I do pretty much all day. So my morning routine, it really consists of very planned out chores. And then I'm trying to hit that computer to keep those night thoughts in. I don't know if you have them, but if you're about to fall asleep and you have an amazing idea, and you have to stop yourself from getting out of bed and getting it out. I have those a lot. So I try to keep them in there and get them right to the computer in that first hour.
Yeah, luckily for me, I can now yell at Siri to just write it down for me because I try to leave my phone in the other room. But yeah, whenever I think about night thoughts, they just really expand into these huge ideas by the time I wake up in the morning. So I should probably continue to do that.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes they're just like really basic. You're just like, meat, bread. And then you're like, oh, that was a sandwich. I was thinking about a sandwich.
It's too funny. Kim, what are some of your favorite books that you've read or are currently reading that you would recommend to anybody in this space?
I have bought a couple of copies for people because I live by these books. The first one is by Jocko Willink. It's The Extreme Ownership and Dichotomy of Leadership. You want to talk about life-changing. Those two books completely changed my mindset. I couldn't put it down. It was just one of my favorite books. The second one is a little bit of an easier read. It's called How to Be a Badass at Money by Jen Sincero. And it's great language. It's got cursing in it, and it really dives into the psychology of money and what ties you might have as a person to it. You know, we are in a sales-based environment, and a lot of people get caught up with their own financial issues and own financial trauma from a kid that doesn't allow them to reach their full financial potential. So, I mean, I think I've bought 6 or 7 copies for all the leaders on my team. I'm like, you should read this one. You should read that one. You should read this one. But those two are the top 2 ones that I go through back every single year.
That's awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Kim, my last question we're going to wrap up for is, if you were to have dinner with a historical figure from the past or present, who would it be and what are you talking about? And my new part to the question is, what are you eating?
Okay. Whew, this is honestly I'm going to go with Kobe. You know, the Black Mamba mentality. He was just a force, man. He was just on an entirely different level. You see all these videos of when he used to speak, that this was him 100%. There was nothing between him and that mentality. So I would definitely have dinner with Kobe, and we would definitely be having Kobe beef. Just a great Kobe beef steak. I'll just keep it basic like that. Kobe with Kobe.
That's awesome. Kim from Fit Theorem, fittheorem.com. Kim Radtke on LinkedIn, and your Instagram one more time.
Fit Coach with 2 T's, FITT coach _K.O.Kim.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim, from myself and our listeners all over the globe and the team at Referrizer for being you and being another progressive brand in this amazing fitness space, changing lives all the time.
We're excited to grow.
Thank you so much. That's it for this week's episode. I hope you found it helpful. Be sure to head over to our site, local-business-hacks.com, to check out the show notes and send me questions or ideas for future episodes. If you want to grow your business, just like the people you've heard from here, follow Local Business Hacks Podcast and tune in for new tips, tricks, and tactics. Until next time, thanks for listening and keep hacking.